Welcome to You Can Change the World, a short course in campaigning with me, Titus Alexander. This session is about naming the problem that you want to change, to start building the fulcrum to move the world in the way that you want. You might like to get pen and paper to take notes and pause the video if you're working on a campaign. In 1963, Betty Friedan wrote about women's unhappiness as the problem with no name. And by doing that, she made it an issue and helped to start the second wave of feminism in the US. Naming a problem puts a handle on it, whether it's in the workplace or the neighborhood, or more widely, your name gives you a focus and identify other people who see it as a problem. But what you see at the problem in the first instance may not actually be the real problem. For example, street crime. It may be an issue to do with lighting and the layout of the urban area, or it may be to do with poverty, social exclusion, and wider issues of inequality, or it may be to do with gangs, or to do with drugs. The naming the problem gives you a starting point and a provisional identification of the issue on which we'll work in future videos. Describe the problem so that you can tell other people about it. How does it feel? What does it cost you and the people around you? Who else does it harm? And who benefits from the problem? Writing it down helps to turn it from a personal issue into a campaign. Imagine your problem has been solved. It's really important not to be stuck in the problem and to recognize that the other side of every problem is a possibility of something better. Can you describe it to somebody else? How does it feel? Why does it excite you? Who will benefit from this problem being solved? Whatever your problem, a campaign is about turning shit into manure. So the question is, what can you learn from the problem? What's the gift in the crap? For example, in 1992, Sue Williams was crushed to death by a lorry with faulty brakes. 3 years later, her daughter Mary set up Brake, a campaigning charity which works with industry, government and volunteers to make roads safe, and they've saved thousands of lives since. Another example is the low pay, which burdens the lives of millions. In 2001, London citizens set up a campaign for a living wage, which has had an influence on many employers and raised incomes for millions of people. 15 years later, it gives out living wage awards. Employers help to fund the campaign, and it's recognized by government. When you take on a problem or issue, you need to be prepared for the long haul. You can make change happen faster when you learn how to campaign, but it still takes time. So it's worth keeping it in perspective and in making sure you've got time for friends and family, for your studies, and for whatever leisure activities you do. And don't forget that campaigning can also be exhilarating and a lot of fun when you do it well. So to recap, name the problem provisionally, but don't get stuck in the problem. Show the benefits of solving it and think about what the world will be like when your problem is solved. And keep perspective, keep balance in your life. And then you can create the fulcrum which will bring about change in your issue and shift it. These videos aim to help you take your issue from where you are now on a journey towards the world as you would like to see it. So stick with me and we'll go through it step by step. For your next step, I suggest you get a buddy, coach, mentor or friend you can talk things through if you don't have one already, because campaigning can be lonely. And look out for opportunities to learn to campaign, including books such as The Solution Focus by my friend Mark McCurgo and Paul Jackson, which is full of practical ways of bypassing problems and creating solutions. And then there are campaign courses run by the Sheila McKechnie Foundation, the Good Lobby, Campaign Boot Camp, and others. And I also run workshops and campaign coaching. So look out for the next step on video number 2. If you're a student or a teacher, look out for my book on practical politics about how to put campaign training into any course program, and get your library to order a copy. That's it. Look out for the next video on how to ask questions, the most powerful campaigning tool of all. Then step by step, we'll create the fulcrum to move the world to bring about the change you want. Go well.